Hi, I'm a straight geek.
And I'm a hot mess.
And welcome to Being Geeky's a Drag.
Today we're going to be talking about the movie that's been on everyone's minds lately.
Yes.
Which has been very controversial because, movies are so dangerous and controversial.
Movies are the biggest issue that we have right now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The big movie in everyone's mind, obviously, other than Soul, which I still have not seen, is
Soul.
Wonder Woman 1984. And it really is controversial because it is barely holding on to its fresh status right now.
Yeah.
It's
like
right at
a point away.
Right at 60%, which was really surprising because the first Wonder Woman got like a 93%. People really liked that movie.
Yeah. What do you think of the first Wonder Woman movie?
So, yeah, the first Wonder Woman I think was pretty good. It was made a lot better because, first of all, it was the first good female superhero movie, and it was the first decent DC movie in that universe. Now, of course, there's good DC movies that came before that, but we're talking about, like, Man of Steel onwards. That was, like, the first DC movie in a real long while that wasn't about Batman or Superman, but even that's kind of, So, yeah. So, Wonder Woman was good. It was a little bit long, but it was good. I think what made that movie so important was that it was a female superhero who was being treated similarly to a male superhero.
Yeah. The first Wonder Woman movie, I do really like. I do feel it's slightly overrated.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And is she's kind of like, it's a similar thing for me to Superman. They're just kind of, and that's why
they're
I think...
aspirational. They're
yeah,
people
and
that
that's
you
why
relate
I
to.
think 1984 would seem like it would be a really good movie to come out right now. Because it's just, this year's been great. 2020 was a good year.
Good job.
Yeah, and not only that, this is coming out on a streaming service in addition to in theaters, which was also a very... we had movies like that, but this is the biggest. Like, this was one that would have made, like, could have made $1 billion.
Yeah, the only other examples of that I can really think of are, like, Netflix movies that came out in, like, a few theaters in, like, New York and LA just so they qualified for the Oscars, basically.
And then there was also Mulan. So, let's start out with Wonder Woman 19. Let's go from the beginning to the end.
Yes.
So, this is a movie...
It opens with a flashback.
Yes.
Like a 10-minute long flashback.
Which Patty Jenkins was insistent on keeping both of the openings.
Yeah, both
but
that and the mall.
I'm sorry. Listen. Part of me doesn't mind it because I like seeing that world from the first one.
Yeah.
But it was completely unnecessary.
Yeah. I like it as like a short film, basically.
Yes. I enjoyed it. But it really has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. I think they bring it back at the end, but this is a long movie, and it's been so long since the beginning. You're like, I think that's that thing from the beginning. I don't remember.
Well, I mean, and the moral, like I get it, but it's not something that, like, on first watch I would go like, oh, that's what they were doing with it.
Yeah, it was just kind of, like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Also, why was she a child, They could have at least had a teenager. I don't know. Yeah. And I do think it is a big flaw in this movie that we don't see more of the Amazons. I think, I don't know. I really missed them in 84. And I kind of wanted to see what they were gonna... Because she hasn't been back there since 1918. I just kind of like to see what would happen.
Well, Can she go back, or is it like... Because I remember they go back and... It comes back in Justice League.
Yeah.
But did they say in the first Wonder Woman that, like, if you go out there, you can never come back?
Well, I don't know, but they also said she disappeared for 100 years, and she quite clearly did not.
That's the other... okay, going to the next scene, actually. So, Wonder Woman somehow has a secret identity, despite...
She looks this... It's not even glasses.
Yeah, she's not even doing the Superman bare minimum.
Glasses.
She's just taking out some security
I
cameras
know.
and hope everyone, including the criminals, go by the honor system and don't say who she is.
She's like, I'm gonna go from a beautiful woman to a beautiful woman.
Genius.
You know, like, Clark Kent at least went from, like, this geeky, like, you know, Poindexter type of thing.
Yeah, a huge geeky Poindexter type.
And Aquaman didn't really have... I don't really know what was up with that. Who knows?
He was just a guy.
He was just a guy. No one really cared. But, like, she's like... You're not gonna see Gal Gadot walking down the street and being like, "Who's that lady?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They even make a whole point of it.
Yeah.
With Kristen Wiig's character, who is another part of this movie. Now, Kristen Wiig comes in, and she's all like, "I'm a geek, haha."
Yeah, she wears glasses, so you know that she's nerdy.
But she is... I really loved her character before
she makes the wish and starts changing.
Yes, she basically, so basically Wonder Woman saving the day and kicking ass, and then they just happen upon this stone.
A literal magic wishing rock.
And who knows where it came from.
The god of lies.
But, like, it's not like they just found it and they're like, oh, look we found this in the plot of the story. It just kind of shows up.
It shows up at her work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's, like, an anthropologist.
Yeah. And basically, and also, like, I think the whole thing about you wish on this and your dreams come true has been done very well in other media. There's been 2 pretty decent Buffy the Vampire Slayer episodes about it. And multiple, I'm pretty sure there's been multiple movies, but I can't think of any of them right now. But, like, you know...
Well, that's a Twilight Zone.
Yeah, Monkey's Paw, you know, which they even reference multiple times.
Yeah. But the weird thing about those wishes is, like, so traditionally with the whole, you know, be careful what you wish for thing, it's that, like, it's something about the wording. So it's like an ironic thing. With this, it's just like you get your wish, then some other shitty thing happens that has nothing to do with the wish itself. It's like completely random.
And the wishes, Oh, and also we meet Pedro Pascal plays this businessman, and actually
side note, I've seen The Mandalorian, and it's really kind of interesting watching him in this because, you know, in The Mandalorian he's the stoic badass, and he's so hammy in this.
And he's also, you know, this probably will get cut out, but I was talking about like everyone in the movie was like, oh, he's so attractive, and I was like, I don't find him attractive at all. And then I saw him a picture like differently styled, and I'm like, oh. He actually is kind of attractive.
Without the Trump hair?
Yeah, they did a really good job of making this guy seem... Except for it was weird, because he was supposed to be attractive, but I don't think anyone can pull off that style.
I mean, the only
Kristen Wiig,
really, and her whole thing is...
What was her name?
Barbara.
Barbara.
Who becomes the cheetah.
Also, who names their kid Barbara in 2020?
It's the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I can get her being attracted to him because, like, her whole thing is like you know, she's really meek. Yeah. Everyone doesn't acknowledge her, so she's like, ooh, a man, you know, and he's all confident or seems confident.
There
and
is
charismatic.
For a superhero who is known for being quite feminist, there is some problematic messages in this movie. First, both basically both Diana and Kristen Wiig and Barbara, not Kristen Wiig. Well, she's Kristen Wiig. She plays Kristen Wiig in the beginning of that movie.
Yeah.
Diana and Barbara both make wishes without realizing it, but they both make wishes revolving around men.
And there's weird things about both of their wishes, how they play out.
Yeah. So let's start with Diana's wish, because she's they come out with the stone. Why? Okay, they make the decision, and I have no clue why this decision was made. This is like my least favorite part of this movie because it makes no goddamn sense, and it just... They have Stephen Trevor in another person's body.
Yeah.
But then they keep the same actor anyways.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Yeah.
Because it brings up
so many
moral dilemmas.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to, like, Wonder Woman isn't like or even like Iron Man. She is supposed to be like purity and like goodness.
And everywhere else in this movie, she's like, no, we can't hurt them. They're under mind control or whatever, you know. Can't kill them. And she's literally advocating for this guy, this random guy, to stay possessed by her dead boyfriend forever.
Yeah. You know, and I don't think they thought about it, but it was just like, it would have been so easy. First, here's what they should have done. All right. And I also, I do write some stuff, and I've taken some classes, so I'm not coming out of this out of nowhere, you know. Here's what they should have done. They should have had it so that Steve Trevor, like, basically just, like, you know, they could have done like a Terminator and have him either fall out of the sky
naked,
for and
the
then
ladies.
We do some fan service, and everyone gets to see Chris Pine's ass, and everyone is happy about it. And even the straight men don't mind, because Chris Pine is pretty, okay? And then she walks up to him, and she's like, oh my god, sir, are you okay? And then she sees him, and it's her boyfriend on the ground. And then instead of going to this random guy's place, she takes him into her place, and like she like goes, and they can have like an 80s shop, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It would have been fine. And then that whole plot line would have been really powerful. Mm-hmm. You know, I think.
Yeah, because it's like no, I want to keep him. Oh, but I have to give him up to save the world.
But they don't bring up any of the facts that they're hurting this random guy, and she sleeps with this guy who has no idea. And also, the camera the whole time just shows us Chris Pine. Which is just weird, because it's like, this is not what
what's
really
the point
happening.
of having this whole possession thing where, like, everyone else in the movie sees this guy anyways?
The only reason to do that would be if Chris Pine said no.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
He said yes.
Yeah.
So there was no reason to not... There was no, like, there was really no good reason.
Yeah, and it never comes up in the movie that he's possessed.
And they come up with some really weak crap to justify it. They're like, all I see is you. And I'm like, no, you don't, lady. Stop with this metaphor, you know? Oh, and then the guy also shows up at the end of the movie, and she smiles at him. And I'm like, oh my god. Can you imagine, like, running into someone who's seeing you naked?
Yeah.
And just... having no idea who they are.
And that's the other thing. Like, if they cut out the possession thing, then they could just have this, like, sweet moment with this random guy, and it could just be an indicator that she's moving on. You know, maybe that guy will be her new boyfriend, maybe not, but it's just like a little indicator of hope or what have you.
And you know what they also could have done is they could have had Diana going on, like, a date at the beginning of the movie, and then it not working out. Because this is the implication. How many years has it been?
70 years.
Just
approximately.
About.
It was like 1918.
She has not gotten over this guy for 70 years.
Yeah.
And they only knew each other for less than a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, move on. Move on.
Yeah.
I mean, even that was a complaint about Justice League, is they said that in there, but, like, you know, at least they could have shown her, like, trying to move on. You know what I mean? Like, they were kind of forced to have that in there, but, like, she doesn't even try. She's just like, no, this is the man for me, which is a really, like, bad message. Mm-hmm. Just, this woman can't get over this man, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think, you know... And I think they could have done, you know, because Wonder Woman, I think that one problem with her, people could say, is that she doesn't have enough flaws, you know. In the first one, her flaw is learning how to accept humanity isn't always all good.
Yeah. And then the fact that she's a fish out of water, you count that as a flaw.
You know, so they needed a flaw in the second one. They could have had a flaw in that for the first time, her interests are getting away. And I understand why that was in there. Yeah. But it was executed really badly.
Yeah, and, like, in terms of her being flawed, like, you know, they're playing it like she is flawed because she's selfish, essentially, because she wants to find a way to keep what she got from the wish and still save the world. But they don't acknowledge that the fact that this guy is possessed makes her exponentially more selfish. Like, to the point
No!
that she's actually a
I
horrible
just
person.
don't think they thought about it.
No.
And Diana's big dilemma is that she either has to keep Steve Trevor or lose her powers. Which is, you know, kind of like a Superman 2 type of thing.
Spider-Man 2, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's been done many times before, but it's effective when done well. And I think there was moments of this where it was done well. There was a lot of potential, but it was just, you know, this whole thing with him being in another body really just made that storyline badly executed, and it's a shame because it had a lot of potential, and it would have been a really easy fix.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I'm just shocked no one read that scene and thought, this is problematic.
Mm-hmm.
How did it get that far?
Yeah, and the other thing is, like we said before, there's that price to every wish. You know, so, like, her price in this case is that she's losing her powers, but couldn't the price just be that this random guy has lost his life, essentially? Like,
and that would have even been a better dilemma.
Yeah, because Wonder Woman, she cares about everyone and everything. So, like, that could, I mean, that should be enough of a price for her.
It's just like, you know, she either keeps her boyfriend and this guy loses his life.
Yeah.
Also, is no one worried about this guy? Does no one call?
We have no idea about.
And also, she just leaves him in the middle of the street during a disaster.
Yeah, I was wondering if they would cut back to him and be like, "What the fuck?"
They just leave him.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I'm like, Diana, you're supposed to be a good person. Yeah.
Like,
it wouldn't matter. And I want to make one thing very clear: this would not matter if she was a dude or a girl.
Mm-hmm.
This was badly executed anyway.
Yeah.
If this was a Thor movie, because that's kind of the closest equivalent.
Yeah.
If this was a Thor movie, it would still be crappy. Okay.
If they did it with, like, Jane or something.
Yeah, you know, like, it's just
Jane possesses Black Widow. Well, Black Widow's gone now.
I know. Like, you know, who cares? Like, what? You know. I mean, but I think it's made even worse by the fact that she is the only female superhero.
I'm not saying that she isn't, like, allowed to be selfish or have, like, a moment of weakness or something like that.
It.
Exactly. Yeah, like she can have that, and if, like, but Steve or something, I mean, he does say, like, what the hell to her, basically, in terms of, like, you need to give me up to save the world, but he never says, like, you need to give me up because I stole this guy's life.
That's an example of, like, Amazing Spider-Man, for example. Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man, he is a flawed character, but he comes to realize he makes flaws, and then he makes a change.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman never realizes what she's doing is wrong, and the writers don't seem to either.
Yeah.
They just kind of, I think they're trying to magic hand wave it away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. All right, now.
So then there's Barbara, who wishes that she could be beautiful and sexy and cool and strong like Diana. So she just starts dressing in all, you know, sexy and stuff, and you know, fashionable,
and like wearing cheetah print.
Yeah, wearing cheetah print because she becomes the cheetah.
She's bad.
Yeah.
And
there's a ton of eyeliner.
And this movie already has a villain.
Yeah.
Cheetah is superfluous. She's unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what they could have done. You introduce, because Cheetah is known as a big Wonder Woman villain, right?
Yeah.
You introduce Barbara in this movie. You make her an ally. She meets her as a friend. She can help her out. Like, she can be the research person, per se. She can help her out throughout the movie.
Which is what she is for most of the movie, really, even after she starts changing.
Yeah, but, like, really what they could have done is she becomes the research person, and she discovers Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the end of the movie, after everyone's making wishes at the end of the movie, she decides to make a wish, and then, everyone renounces their wish. It doesn't really make sense. They don't really explain it well. But, they could leave her that at the end of the movie, like, she makes a wish.
Yeah.
And then, for the next movie, you already have your villain set up. It's somebody we know.
And then we're more...
attached.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been very simple to do that. And it would have been, you know... And then we have a whole movie focusing on the cheetah instead of just one movie.
And she's not even really, evil for most of it.
She's just kind of mad.
She gets a bit of an attitude once she becomes cool, you know?
Yeah.
But she doesn't really go bad until towards the end.
And then they have the horrible, horrible CGI.
Which is a literal cat fight.
It's so... Oh, it's just so ugly looking.
Yeah, it's really dark.
It's basically, like, you know... And this came out a year after the Cats movie.
Yeah.
Come on!
Unfortunate. Yeah. And the only reason to make it so dark, because they have scenes set like before and after that are in the daytime. So the only reason to make it so dark is to hide the CG, basically.
Which is really bad.
Yeah.
Throughout this movie, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, like when she's running.
Oh, it's really bad.
She's running like on the balls of her feet, and it looks like she's floating.
Oh god, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, she joins the main bad guy because she doesn't want her wish taken away. And that's her motivation.
And also, Diana's like, what did it take from you? Look at you. It took your humanity, your empathy.
And I'm like, why did it take that?
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's completely random. Like,
well, it's supposed to be your greatest strength. But, like, that seems pretty arbitrary. Couldn't it have just made her stupid?
Yeah.
She could have been like, you know, she
Yeah,
could have just been like, duh. Like, I mean, she's a smart lady. That's a big part of her. It could have just made her fucking
What's my greatest strength? You're just really nice, honey.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh yeah, his greatest strength is that, like, most of the greatest strengths don't even make sense.
Oh, are you talking about like Maxwell Lord?
Yeah, what was his greatest strength?
He just like got really sick and messed up every time he granted a wish.
Why? It just makes sense. Whatever.
And like since he's,
I guess his health is his greatest strength?
I guess. He's a really healthy guy.
He eats a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
Woo!
He exercises.
That is one healthy man.
Drinks a lot of fluids.
And then nothing happens to his kid.
No, because his kid's like about to die in the riots or something.
But that's not... So life is his greatest strength?
Yeah.
That sucks! You're not good at anything except for being alive.
That kid is immortal.
That's so stupid! Okay, so let's talk about Maxwell Lord, because what the fuck is this storyline, man? My god!
So he's Donald Trump. He's Latino Donald Trump.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, because I mean he has the hair. They say it's not a political thing. That's
but it is.
I mean, it's hard not to have a Donald Trump or Donald Trump inspired character and have it not be political.
Also, it's the 1980s, you know.
Yeah, so Donald Trump is, basically, he's an important figure of that decade. He's like the face of that Wall Street corporate type. You know. So he's this oil guy basically, and
he sucks.
And he sucks. Yeah, he's like on TV, like that's the Trump thing. He's like, famous for his ads on TV, but like behind closed doors, he's not successful at all. His business is falling apart. He just projects this image of success, basically. And
that's because, can you imagine this, Josh? This guy's entire strategy behind his company is reliant, I don't know, on a magic stone.
Yeah. And
it's like, if he's like, I'm gonna build a company and I'm gonna build it all around this fucking stone. And everyone's like, let's fund this guy. How did that pitch meeting go?
Well, okay, so he doesn't wish for success or anything. He wishes to become the magic wishing stone.
And I distinctly remember the people I watched this with were like, so he's gonna turn into a rock?
Yeah. I mean, if we're going for ironic wishes, like, be careful what you wish for things, that would be the obvious
He would turn
thing.
into like a stone person.
But like I said, the prices for these are completely random.
And his price is that he loses his health.
Yeah.
He's a real healthy guy.
Yeah, he's like dying at the end, but he since he's the magic wishing rock, he can choose what random price he takes from whoever makes wishes on him.
That is another thing. They said it was your greatest strength, but then he just picks random stuff. That is the thing. This whole damn movie, I remember being like, and I'm like not. I watch a lot of movies. Okay, I'm not bad at following movies, but I was like, I kept turning to people and like, what does this mean?
The rules of the magic wishing rock are really kind of vague.
No, it makes like, it makes the time travel and Endgame make sense.
Side note, take a shot every time we say magic wishing rock or magic wishing stone.
God, dead. What is it even called?
I can't remember.
Me neither. Yeah. But his thing is he's gonna take over the world by granting wishes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, is that he's also granting wishes for, like, nuclear weapons and to, like, be president.
It seems like it seems like all the chaos that happens isn't really something that he planned. Like, he doesn't really consider the consequences of anything.
It's like he lives on Earth.
Yeah.
Like, if a nuclear bomb goes off, you're gonna die, sir.
Yeah, but he'll be really healthy when he dies. Because he
sucks health out of
that's
people.
his big climactic plan, getting on the TV.
But when
because
he
he's
sucks
like
the health out
dying
of
by
people,
this
they
point.
don't die though.
Well, it's like everyone on Earth or something. So he's like,
so wouldn't
he's
they
sucking
all be
just
dead?
enough. I guess he's just sucking just enough health from all the billions of people out there that they don't notice.
So do they all just get colds?
I guess, yeah.
They all just get colds. They're all like,
I mean, he's just one guy. There's only so much he could take from 6 billion people.
No, he wished to be the stone. He like does a lot of. I don't know, man. Oh, and they go to where do they go? They go to the Middle East.
You know what? Okay, go ahead.
They go to the Middle East, and this guy is like, I want your military, so I'm gonna have you wish that these people's, we're gonna they built a wall.
Subtle.
Around the town to keep the poor people out, and the poor people are pissed. And then he takes the security guards.
That's his price for this guy. He's going to take his security team. He gets minions,
who just follow him.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that he was taking people's. They didn't really explain it that way.
Yeah, so there's like mind control involved in there too, as a side effect of the wishing rock. Like he wishes for all the respect and authority that the president has, so everyone like does whatever he says, basically, including the president.
Yeah, no, I think it was just the president, but they're following the president's rules, so I don't know.
Well, no, he said that he was taking that as a price from the president.
Yeah. And everyone else just kind of no, but
and that's why she's.
I don't know, man. It really doesn't make sense. But everyone decides to follow this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows why?
Magic wishing rock.
Yeah. And then what else does he do? This guy ends up with a farm in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like he's just kind of messing with people. But then he also like talked to these people who were like, I want all the nukes to be.
Yeah.
I wish we had more nukes.
And this whole thing when he's in Egypt, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants oil.
Yeah. So he goes to Egypt for oil.
And they don't have oil, so he like takes the security team and goes to find. Like,
and then Diana chases him and like, I don't know. And also the action in this movie.
There's a long stretch without any action.
But the action in this movie is really like... There's multiple times where people fall on cars and step up and are fine.
Mm-hmm.
you know, even for a superhero movie, this movie was particularly, like, it felt particularly like, I don't buy that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because, you know, Diana's a superhero. She can withstand a lot. But then there's these other people who are, like, being slammed into things and, like, and they're fine. They're like, I'm fine. And then they just walk.
Steve Trevor is a ghost-possessing guy, but he's still in a human body, and he's basically a superhero, too.
And they fly through fireworks.
Yes.
They fly through fireworks. And Diana also has just a whole bunch of new powers that just show up out of nowhere.
Like making a jet invisible, because she did to a coffee cup once. We are told that she did to a coffee cup once.
And she learns how to fly, and she learns, this is the stupidest part, is she swings on lightning.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
I mean, they have to know that's stupid, you know?
They have to! It's stupid! Yeah. It is stupid. But they're like, you know...
Maybe they're hoping that it's just, like, campy it becomes fun, you know?
Yeah. And here's the thing. But she goes to Egypt, and there's this whole big chase scene. And then... And then they go to the White House, and she fights them again, and she runs into Cheetah. And that's when she fights
Cheetah, yeah.
And they have this big fight, and she gets her ass kicked because she's losing her powers.
Yeah.
And then, again, they go, and then...
And Cheetah goes with Maxwell Lord to this bunker because he needs to touch people to grant their wishes, right? So Maxwell Lord is looking for a way to touch a lot of people at once.
That's so wrong.
Those are the literal words. He says it very intensely.
He needs to touch everybody.
He says very intensely, I need to find a way to touch a lot of people at once. So he can restore his health. He needs to touch a lot of people and spread his illness to them. He is the villain for our times.
He's like, I need to touch everybody, and everyone's like, and then I guess TV does that, and everyone makes wishes.
Because the president says like as a metaphor that the signals will touch everyone on screen, and he even says, I meant metaphorically, but that works apparently.
And everyone starts granting wishes, and the world's going to crap because this guy just wants to suck up health. Oh, and also,
but I'm unclear as to like what is he planning on doing next? Like, what does he do after that?
I don't know.
But he has the authority of the president.
Yeah, his motivations are really unclear. Like,
he just wants more. You know, that's his thing. He just wants more. It doesn't matter what.
And that kind of works for the 80s, but they don't really. It doesn't seem intentional.
I think it is intentional. I think he definitely comes off like he's making everything up as he's going.
And he's
along.
also so hammy in this performance.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then and also Diana fights Cheetah. Cheetah is like, I want to become.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. That's the thing, because they say that you can only make one wish. So Barbara makes the first wish, which makes her become like a cool bad girl, you know, and get superpowers. And then she makes another wish, says that she wants to be like better than everyone. She wants to be an apex predator. And
and then that and I think it's like he's using his health that he's sucking to suck something into her.
So he sucked cheetah-ness out of someone?
I don't know. That's what I think happened.
Did a cat make a wish? Or a cast member from Cats? It is the 80s.
No, it wasn't too early because it's 84 and Cats opened on Broadway in 82, and I hate that I know that.
Yeah, so exactly, yeah. He stole the catness from a cast member of Cats.
No, he stole it from an actual cat.
He stole it from Andrew Lloyd Webber's cats.
Yes. And she went like, wow! And here's another thing.
And it doesn't happen immediately, because she makes the wish on the plane.
Yeah.
But then she's, like, going with him into the studio when she's normal.
Yeah.
It doesn't show the transformation.
Yeah, we don't really get how that... he, sucked up cat energy and put it in her. And then she became a cat. I don't know. She must... And also, we never see that she, I don't know.
And I know in the comic books, she's a cat lady, but she already has superpowers, and she wears the leopard print outfits. You know, it's like the leopard print stuff is like a nice nod to comic book Cheetah, but like she really doesn't need to turn into a cat. You know,
yeah, especially because it looks horrible.
Yeah.
But also, Wonder Woman defeats her by throwing her down into a water with electricity in it.
Mm-hmm.
But Wonder Woman is in the water too.
Yeah. And she has Wonder Woman's powers.
Yeah. So the electricity subdues Cheetah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do anything to Wonder Woman.
Yeah. If anything, she should be more powerful than Wonder Woman, because she said she wanted to be above everyone.
And here's the thing. These are nitpicks, right?
Mm-hmm. But it all adds up.
But throughout this movie, there's all these little stupid things, like during these action scenes and stuff that's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Or that's stupid, you know. And I think if this movie was really good, for example, let's take Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Avengers Endgame works emotionally, but when you really think about it, it doesn't make a lick of sense.
Yeah.
But you don't really care, do you?
Yeah, like if the rules of the magic wishing rock were a little vague, that would be fine if they didn't have weird shit in there, like the whole Steve Trevor storyline.
Yeah, you know, like there's the time travel in Endgame really makes no sense if you think about it. But this really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like it really, and there's not enough stuff to distract you.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and so after she defeats Cheetah, she goes in to face Max. And like everything is wind is blowing everywhere, and she's like struggling to get close to him, and he's even hammier.
And there's a portal. It's basically a portal.
It's like a beam in the center of the room.
There's always a beam, isn't there?
Yeah, you gotta have a beam. A blue beam.
Oh, and we're almost 2.5 hours in at this point.
Yeah. So she tries to like get him to give up his power, but he doesn't want to, of course. So she like lassos his foot and like speaks through him to everyone in the world, and they represent that by her like breaking the fourth wall and speaking to the camera.
If he is the wishing stone, right?
Yeah.
He renounces his wish at some point in this movie. Wouldn't it make more sense that if he renounced his wish, everyone's wishes that were made off of him go away? He's the wishing stone.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's what I thought happened. But then after that, they show other people start to renounce their wishes. So are we just assuming that everyone in the world is watching this TV broadcast, first of all?
Yeah. And
everyone in the world decides, yeah, I will renounce my wish.
Yeah, and as some people have pointed out, what if someone wished, I wish my mom didn't have cancer?
Like, they're not going to unwish that. you know?
Yeah,
and the thing is that I thought that's what was happening, is that he was giving up his wish and then everything would go back to normal. And they had it out there, and they could have just stuck with that. But again, they made the decision to show other people giving up their wishes. And I'm like, I'm not even sure if that means anything at this point, because it's stupid. It's just stupid. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah. And the message seems to be like, don't take shortcuts to get what you want, you know, like,
unless what you want is your dead lover to come back, then deal with it.
Well, no, it's not saying that.
I know.
Yeah. Like, you need to it's like hard work or something, like don't take the easy way out or something like
all
that.
this American dream stuff,
But so he gives up his wish, and he like
and she has also given up Steve Trevor at this point before to get her powers
to get her
back.
powers back. Yeah,
we forgot to mention that.
Yeah, so he gives up his wish and goes out and finds his son. And I actually found that last scene with him very moving, where he runs out and hugs his son.
But at the same time, he doesn't get arrested.
Well, I mean, at least we aren't seeing it. I mean,
I know.
We aren't shown it. I mean, we don't really know what happens to him exactly.
Okay, I'm sorry. That guy should be in jail.
For everything.
I don't even believe in, like, the prison system, but he should be in jail.
Yeah, I mean...
He almost got the world nuked.
He almost got the world nuked, but he's presented as not being a bad guy, but not really a bad guy.
What? Yeah. And then at the end of the movie,
he's just misguided, basically.
She like smiles at this other guy
who was
Steve Trevor, and we see Barbara, who is somehow still alive after being electrocuted.
And she's back to being human,
but still cheetah human.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, she was still wearing the outfit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did she go back to how she was before, like evil superpower, or did she like go back to beginning but still wearing the outfit?
I think it was the second. I think it's the middle one, because I feel like she's gonna come back. Which in that case they shouldn't have even. I don't know.
Shouldn't have bothered with her in this one.
Yeah, because they should know by now that multiple villains don't really ever work, do they?
No. That's the other thing I wanted to mention about Barbara.
Yeah.
So, Barbara is Selena Kyle, who becomes Catwoman.
I know, it's the same goddamn...
Yeah. Male equivalents are Jim Carrey's Edward Nygma becoming the Riddler in Batman Forever, Syndrome in The Incredibles, Max Dillon, played by Jamie Foxx, who becomes Electro in The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And then, Aldrich Killian.
In Iron Man 3, yeah.
It's been done at least 5 times, and probably more.
Yeah, this like, dorky person who idolizes the hero.
Yeah.
And ends up becoming a villain because
and it's a little bit offensive.
For fans, yeah.
Honestly, it's like, we hate our fans.
Yeah, they're pathetic.
It's like, actually...
You want to be a superhero? Too bad, you're evil.
Yeah! Yeah! The only, real... otherwise I can think is Peter Parker, which is probably why a lot of people really love that character.
That's, basically why I love Peter Parker so much.
You should date him.
You know what, I would.
No.
I'm not Tom Holland because he's a child.
Let's make this short, because we already have a 15-minute video in there. Which I'm going to upload and then immediately delete.
Well, we went off topic a lot, so we can edit that. Anyways, final thoughts.
This movie is not as good as I wanted it to be. I had some Phantom Menace syndrome, and that when I first liked this, I wanted to like it a lot, so I was kind of like, yeah, it was good. And then the more I thought about it as the week went on, I was like, damn, that really kind of wasn't great, was it? It was passively entertaining. It wasn't painful to watch, but it is mind-numbingly stupid. And, yeah. And...
Yes. I agree most of the same points. It was one of those things when I was watching it the first time, I was like, that's odd. That's odd.
Yeah.
I did find it entertaining. I've heard some people call it boring. It is long, but I personally wasn't really bored.
No, it's not bored. It's too ridiculous to be boring.
Yeah, there's a long stretch without action. But so a lot of people have pointed to that.
There's a lot of points where it's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, and so that kind of kept me engaged, just the weirdness of it all.
It's a weird movie.
It is a very weird movie.
And you compared it to Spider-Man 3.
Yes, which I think is the closest comparison for it, as far as movies in general go, really.
And in that it's like passively fun.
Yeah.
But it's not really good.
Yeah, I will sit down and watch Spider-Man 3 and have a good time with it, but I'm not going to defend it as a good movie.
Yeah.
You know.
It reminds me of my initial reaction to Dark Knight Rises. They're very different movies, but in that I really thought I was going to like it, and so I kind of really tried to like it. And then, but if you're trying to like something...
Yeah, once you realize that you're consciously like making excuses for something, basically, then you know there's a problem.
And I don't have the nostalgia that I have for something like Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones. That I can't, it's dumb. It's a dumb fucking movie. But sometimes you need some dumb.
It would be a great movie to watch. Yeah, drunk with friends. Yeah.
With me, Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
But you could play a drinking game with this game. Every time, this is the drinking game.
Every time someone makes a wish, you would get,
no.
No.
Every time there's a logical inconsistency.
Every time the Steve Trevor storyline makes you uncomfortable.
And you know what's weird is it didn't make me uncomfortable while I was watching it. It's the more I thought about it, I was like, oh.
I mean, it made me a little uncomfortable in the sense of I was just like, that's weird.
I think I couldn't even grasp what was going on. I'm like, so is she actually seeing Trevor or is it just a metaphor?
Yeah.
It was.
And then they showed him in the mirror, so it was like, oh, okay, so we're only seeing Chris Pine.
It's just a lot of weird decisions to this movie, and a lot of people are saying Patty Jenkins is a bad director, but she also directed the first one, guys.
Yeah,
and that was decent.
But she did write this one, and or co-wrote it, and she didn't co-write the last one.
Yeah.
So. And it might not be her, she wasn't the only writer on it. Jeff Johns was also writing it.
There's I think, this movie needed another year.
I mean, it had plenty of time.
It did have a lot of time. It still needed another year. Seemingly, it needed a rewrite.
Yeah.
Really, is that, there was a potentially fun movie here that was fun and not stupid. But overall, I would probably give this movie a thumb sideways.
Yeah. If you're looking for dumb fun, then
is it good?
You could do worse.
And like the way Catherine and I do this in our series, because this is really relevant in this case. Is it good? No. Is it entertaining? Yeah. So. You can do worse.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't pay for the streaming service for it.
And there's so many superhero movies out there that you don't need to settle for bad but entertaining, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Should have been better, but, All right, Josh. Well.
Right.
You know what, Josh?
What? Christmas Carol?
I wish I had a cocktail.
Oh no! This will do horrible things to your tail! An ironic wish. I don't know.
Made just as much sense as the movie! Have a good night, everybody.